Alright guys, so it looks like I need to do an update on my how to play defense video. I got a lot of hate from what I'm going to guess is more of the elite players suggesting that CPU defenseman is not a viable strategy. So I'm going to show you guys today, the below average NHL players among us, how to play defense as the defenseman. And we're going to take a look at my Division 3 games on my free to play team. I'm No Sleeves 12. All right, guys, No Sleeves here. Again, I have to go over something real quick. You might have noticed a different sponsor there at the end of my little intro video. Go by MMO.com. I was approached by them. They made me a great offer, and something that I'm actually pretty excited to mention to you guys is that I'll be able to do giveaways of a much grander scale on my Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. But needless to say, they are the cheapest on the internet for coins if you are looking to purchase hut coins for your teams if you want to go that route. So go to gobymmo.com, enter promo code sleeveless, and you're going to save yourself 6% off of your purchase. So let's get into it. So, guys, we're going to start off in Game 5 of Div 3. Again, today I want to focus on how to play defense as a defenseman. I showed you in my How to Suck Less series tips on how to become a better defenseman when you're an average gamer in NHL and you're not really aware and cognizant of what you should be doing as a defenseman in the defensive zone, because it is hard. NHL as a defenseman, even just playing real hockey as a defenseman, is extremely difficult, and it is no different in this game because you're just playing the real thing essentially in a video game. So I'm going to show you guys how I play defense. Again, I am better on defense than I am on offense, so we'll see if I can't teach you some things playing as a defenseman, as well as I'm going to show you guys some losses. Again, you guys, I've had a good run here during this series, and some of you said, "Hey, why don't you show some losses?" I have no problem doing that, and I'll go ahead and let's get started. Alright, guys, so let's pick it up in the middle of the first period here. He gets sprung on a breakaway off the faceoff. Now, if there's anything I can stress to you guys is that learn how to do the poke check, because it is the only way to guarantee yourself a stop on a breakaway. Now, some guys are going to know that it's coming or anticipate it because there is ways to kind of watch for it. But just, again, holding L1 and X, and you will switch to your goaltender. And then once you do that, you don't want to just run out or anything like that. Wait for him to come in a little bit closer because you know he's going to deke. Square and up on the directional or on the thumbstick, and that will do a aggressive sliding stat pack poke check, and that's the only move you want to do on a breakaway. If you start trying to guess left and right, that is how you get fucking owned on a breakaway while controlling your goaltender. So that's something I do want to mention. Now, on this play particular, I stopped that rush that I was mentioning, and I'm away. I try to dipsy doodle around his defenseman. I get a good shot away, and then it's just a simple overload, guys. If you guys have been watching this from the start, the overload is the end all be all as far as strategies go in this game, and this is no different. I just get it out, and I'm allowed to walk right out into the slot after a few passes. All right, so here's a clip on a better way on how to play defense. So, guys, he beats me out on an icing rush again. The problem with my free-to-play team is I have no speed, and most teams that you play against with good lineups, that is where you're going to see the biggest advantage. So he beats me out here, and I switched to my defenseman in the middle here in case he walks out, because that's the more dangerous play here. His pass over to the guy that he has on the side is too far of an angle, so I know that. Then he's just trying to make plays up top and whatnot, but because I've got shit so set up to be so aggressive, my guys are all in the middle. I'm controlling my D-man, trying to make sure that he can't get into the slot or walk out in there for a shot on net. And he's just trying to pass it along until he loses it because, again, I'm playing so aggressive. And then it springs me on a rush here, and it's an easy cross crease, and I'm up 2-0. So a couple things I want to point out on this clip, guys. My advanced offense video. I do show you guys how on the rush, if you hold a deke motion like the left or right, or X or A to hold the stick out while you're going along the boards, more often than not, when you get pinched, you're going to be able to squeak by. Now, unfortunately, I lose the puck here because I don't have anyone else in deep, and but then it's another example of why I use the 1-2-2 blue and heavy forecheck, especially against lesser guys. I'm only in Div 3 right now, so again, I take that with a grain of salt, but a lot of the guys can't handle constant pressure in their face. That's what happens here. He gets knocked off the puck. I dance around his guys, and then I hit him with that fucking nasty toe drag top shelf. Alright, guys, time to show you some mistakes on defense. So, again, when you're controlling your defenseman, here are some things that you want to avoid, and something I do right here. A lot of this game is making anticipation moves. So in this instance right here, I pull my defenseman off. Now I see that I have two guys in the slot thinking that he's not going to be able to get it through. So what I do with my defenseman is I cover the pass back to the point, because if we freeze it here for a second, you're going to see what is open, what is the more high percentage play. Now, unfortunately, he makes this pass through three of my fucking dudes, and he's wide open in the slot. Now, that wouldn't happen, really, if I wasn't controlling my defenseman. My defenseman might have been more on the guy with the puck. But, again, those are the things that you got to watch out for, and just something to keep in mind. Aggressive forecheck, guys. Get on board. Right here, he just gets roasted by my forward coming in, reading the play here, and it allows me to just walk in the slot for that against the grain wrister, and it's 4-1. Alright, guys, and that's how Game 5 would end. 4-1 currently in Div 3, and closing in on that Div title. Alright, guys, we're moving on to Game 8 in Div 3, and let's get started here. I want to show you guys this play in particular here. When defending the rush as a defenseman, never push up on the left thumbstick. Never skate into him. And what I mean by that is you want to gradually challenge him. Because what you're going to do is you're going to get guys who deke and fake you out, and that's how you get caught and breakaways happen. You bite on plays. That's what biting on a play is. So what you want to do is just kind of slowly move into him while he's coming down the wing. You're going to eventually just kind of move him out of the play. You want to poke check, but make sure you're poke checking the puck, that way you'll avoid tripping penalties a lot more often. But again, and then in this instance here, what I've become very good at is blocking shots on against the grain wristers, or even point shots. What you want to do is make sure you're in the way, and that sounds kind of stupid, but you want to slow it down. You don't want to be. You just make sure there's space. Like, you can leave a good solid 10 feet in between them and the player. You know that shot's coming. And don't crouch or slide or dive block. And the reason for that is almost everyone goes top shelf. Everyone. So what you're going to, especially on against the grain wristers, because that's how it works. So by not diving down or knee blocking, it'll allow you a little bit more control skating. So that way you don't go down on the block, and then you're out of position. Once you get good at that, you're going to take that out of the play, and that option isn't going to be available for your opponent. So again, just kind of much like how I recommend doing point shots, don't look at the goalie. In this instance, you want to kind of just stay in a direct line. Stick and goalie, you want to stay in the middle of it, and you know where they're going to go when they're streaking across, okay? So just get in the way, because when they shoot top shelf, it's going to hit your torso. It's not going to go down low. So something to keep in mind. Aggressive AI. Great example of reading the play and using the guy you're controlling to help your AI when they are being aggressive. I keep the puck in here with a big hit because I can see him coming up the boards here. My AI retrieves it, and then it's just overload, guys. Back and forth along the half boards. And all you're doing is you're not even looking at the guy you're controlling. You know you have those three passes available. Your eyes are on the slot. No different here. Call this whatever you want, but this sequence here, again, I'm controlling my defenseman the whole time. I intercept this pass and play good defense 90% of this whole sequence here. And every time, I just get bumped off the puck the second I get it. It's my fault for not clearing it out and being too hesitant to make the pass out of the zone. And he ends up, after my third or fourth failed attempt to get it out, he ends it up in the back of the net. Now it's 2-1. This is an absolute saucing. This kid fucking completely outthinks me here. When he stops up and I'm controlling my defenseman, I don't even have a second thought that he's going to shoot it here. and my other defenseman curls into the middle for whatever reason, completely leaves that dude wide open, and just fucking kudos to this dude, and it's tied. We're late in the third here, and this kid makes the perfect decision. When you're coming down the wing with your correct-handed winger, you know you're not going to the middle, and that's exactly what I'm thinking here. But he does it to fire off the pads for the big rebound. Amazing strategy, especially on the rush when you are using the correct-handed winger coming down the correct side. And yeah, I have no answer for it. Just a perfect shot, and it worked out amazingly for him. So that's it for Game 8. Took the fat L there. I'm going to need one more to try and get that title. Take a quick second and update you guys on my roster and who is contributing for me. Again, you can clearly see I'm still using my free-to-play team. It is a fucking hot disaster with Cody Franzen leading the way. We're starting in Game 9 of Div 3, guys. I want to do a little quiz for you. So this situation right here, how many of you are expecting a against the grain wrister top shelf? Because I know the dude I'm playing is. This is a perfect example of just seeing what your opponent is giving you and thinking one step ahead. Alright guys, so let's talk about zone entry, because again, that's a big part of playing defense. This situation right here, I control my defenseman. I see what my other guys are doing. They're all collapsing in on him. He has one shot, essentially, and that is to shoot. His passes are going to get intercepted and clogged, and I think that he sees that. And again, you just want to use your AI to you want to help your AI, essentially, when you're controlling your defense, and be in a place that when your AI is pressuring, that you're going to be in the right spot to intercept or challenge the guy. Again, a lot of players will not look where they're going. They're looking what they're doing currently and just trying to get away from the one AI pressuring them. When you start helping your AI and being more of a support role for them, especially in the defensive zone, you're going to see a lot more success. Oh, and then I score. This is pretty much the best example of playing defense I can show you. So on the rush, again, play it perfectly. Wait for him to come to me, poke check at the right time, force him over to the boards. Now what you guys want to notice here is when you start chasing or you're going stride for stride with a guy, the second you lose a step, you need to either curl back or switch off because you are now useless to the play. I do that here. I curl back into the middle. All of his guys that he has are the correct-handed shot. So again, when he passes it over, I know he's not going to have a one-timer. He comes out into the slot, and again, this is a perfect example of don't crouch block, don't dive block to take yourself out of position, just be in the way. I knock the puck down on a shot block here. I go in and I put it off his own goalie and into the net, and that's pretty much it, guys. So again, those are just some good examples of what to watch for. You need to make sure that you're not chasing and that you're watching the play. You want to be curled off just as much as you're being aggressive. It sounds weird, but you want to let the play develop and just be watching lanes instead of watching the puck. So guys, again, just to recap, I know this was an insanely in-depth, but again, I just want to do a little update on my how to play defense video. If you want to play as a defenseman on the rush, make sure that you don't bite ever. Let them come to you. Use the poke check to poke the puck, not the feet, okay? Again, when you feel like you are going step for step and they're pulling ahead a little bit, either switch off the player or pull back into the middle, curl back into the middle because you're useless, okay? Again, watch the play. Never be watching the puck. Watch for the lanes because when you get up in the ranks, that's what the other players are doing. They aren't watching their player. They're watching for the open lane. So when you start doing that, you're going to have a lot more success, okay, guys? So again, just some basics that I wanted to go over. Again, also shot blocking. Be in the way. Don't dive. You can crouch if you're right in front. Like, you know a slap shot's coming. The dude winds up like he's fucking Danny Heatley touching the ceiling. Crouch block right in front of him, okay? Because at least that covers the whole thing in case it goes by your feet. But for the most part, don't. Leave some space, and they're going to think they can get the shot through no matter what. And that's because they're looking at the goalie, not you. And that is a mistake. So again, guys, just some shit to keep in mind, okay? Finally, guys, again, go check out GoBuyMMO.com. Use the promo code Sleeveless for 6% off your purchases. It is the cheapest for Hut coins if you are looking to purchase them. and they are very generous to myself, so I can do tons of giveaways. So follow me on Twitter. I have a current Twitter poll or Twitter giveaway right now for 25,000 coins. All you got to do is follow and retweet the pinned tweet there. I'm going to be doing them a lot more frequently, again, thanks to Go Buy MMO, as well as on my Twitch. Every time I stream, literally every time I stream, I do a giveaway, and now I can give you guys more, and that's what I plan to do. So, if you do subscribe and whatnot, I do appreciate it. I'm getting up there. I'm almost at 2,000, and it blows me away. So thank you for all the support, and yeah, guys, you guys stay average.
Everybody know our name, and if your dad is gone, but your mama's home, we can bring